All right, everyone. Now we need to talk about the Satanic Grotto, link in the description, archived, of course. Planned Satanic Mass for March 28th. That's in a little bit less than a week. I have multiple feelings about this. Now, of course, first and foremost, I am not a Satanist. I was many, many years ago an atheistic Satanist, in the vein of the Church of Satan more than anything else. Then I realized it was vacuous. It wasn't really for me because I have spiritual beliefs. And if you have spiritual beliefs, Satanism's not really for you. It can help to clean out the religious clutter that you may have been indoctrinated in, but it is just a stepping stone to other spiritualities. And then you can, of course, shop around and find out your own truth. I do not believe that there's a one-size-fits-all religion, of course, and I'm more cosmopolitan on the spiritual end. I have my own beliefs, and I stick to them. And sometimes they change, you know? You get confronted with new information, and then you say, well, I was wrong about something. Maybe I need to adjust the way that I'm doing things. I think that's a positive thing. I don't think that it's a negative thing at all. But there are multiple bizarre assets to this particular case. The Satanic Grotto seems to be more on the edgelord side, and allegedly their leader stole Eucharist bread from a Catholic church, intending to defile it and hold a black mass at the Capitol. But the allegation appears to be false because the case against him was dropped. Well, that's very interesting now, isn't it? So, in other words, the governor of the state and its Congress, its legislature, decided to unilaterally bar somebody from entering the Capitol at all over an allegation that was tossed. That seems a little bit sus to me. It seems a little bit more like religious posturing. Of course, the population of Kansas tends to be quite religious. Therefore, it makes sense. And the governor, by the way, there is a Democrat, which is hysterical. This was a bipartisan effort, by the way, as well. Can I ask something? Don't we have bigger issues to tackle as a nation, as opposed to a handful, probably fucking 12 people, deciding to go to the state capitol and eat Eucharist wafers, which he could literally have bought at a clerical store, by the way. There's no proof that he actually stole them. It was an allegation again. It's been tossed. I don't care if he bleeds himself onto the Eucharist wafers and passes them out and starts mumbling mumbo jumbo and talking about black sorcery or something like that. Who cares? This is not assault. It's not disorderly conduct. It's not public indecency. It's not anything. Who cares what he does? I don't care if he plays death metal in the Capitol Rotunda. Who gives a fucking shit about it? People have become too moralistic. The thing is that when you change the laws and the ground rules literally around the Capitol, which is literally what they did, simply because a small number of people want to come in and file Eucharist wafers, which again, you can make yourself, you can buy, they're readily available. It's not like only priests are allowed to buy them or anything like that. And there's no evidence that he committed a crime and stole them because, again, after evidentiary hearings, the case was tossed. There's no reason why they shouldn't be allowed to file the communion unless the state is taking sides with regards to religion. I'll read a little bit of this verbatim. Satanic group defies Kansas officials, plans black mass at state capitol. Yes, they're probably going to get arrested as a result of this. They will win their case, and that's probably their point. The Satanic Temple has done this multiple times, like when they went to Arkansas and they had the Ten Commandments monument outside of the what was it, Capitol or the courthouse, and they decided to erect a statue of Moloch, actually, and there was nothing that they could do about it. If the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster wanted to put a spaghetti strainer on the ground there, technically it would be a protected religious monument. Very, very interesting. It's almost like people have stopped giving a shit at some points. In Satanist traditions, and I love this, Black Mass ceremony sometimes involves the desecration of the consecrated Eucharist, as was recounted online by Monsignor Roger J. Landry, priest of the Diocese of Fall River, Massachusetts. Do you really want to trust a Catholic priest on such a subject? Because I've never heard of this, and I'm a former Satanist. I'm also an occultist and a pagan. I've never heard of any such thing. I mean, you can desecrate things, I guess, if you want to, but it doesn't mean anything. Uh, Landry pointed out at the time, the New York Satanic Temple's website, this is the Satanic Temple, the craptivistic leftoid ones, um, described the Black Mass as a perversion of the Catholic Mass and posited that a consecrated host gets corrupted by sexual fluids during the ritual. They are referring to the ancient practice of Anton LaVey fucking various women on an altar because he was a horn dog. That was back in the 1960s and 70s mainly. Um, they registered as a corporation for a reason. The Satanic Church and its diaspora is quite interesting, actually. I wouldn't recommend bothering to get fully into Satanism because it's useless, but yeah, just look at their PR person, Peggy Nadramia. Yeah, she blocked me because I asked her a couple of basic bitch questions 20 years ago. Interesting time. A lawsuit brought by the Bishop of the Archdiocese of Kansas City, Joseph Naumann, alleged Stewart admitted on social media to stealing the consecrated Eucharist. The lawsuit also alleged members of the Satanic Grotto sent threatening letters to lawmakers. But all of these cases have been dropped. So let me ask a question. Whether or not you think fondly of Satanism or anything associated with it, do you believe that a person for which the allegations have been fully dropped, there is no case against them, should be unilaterally banned from entering a state capital? I say no. I say if they want to do their ritual in there or something like that, how is that any different because no law is being broken? How is that any different from a group of Christians deciding to go in there and pray? Or a group of Muslims going in there and with their prayer rugs and bowing down before Allah? Or a group of Jews, facing towards wherever the Wailing Wall is, respective to Kansas, and praying for their compatriots or something like that, or a bunch of Hindus having, some sort of celebration, celebrating Vishnu or Krishna or something like that. How is it any different? This one particular group of people happens to be specifically reviled, and in some cases, that's because they're trying to be edgelords. They're literally trying to get you to lash out at them. But some of these people don't understand this. You got to understand that it's as atheism with a floor show. Yes, it is a perversion of Catholicism. You take the basic iconography and effectively invert it. That's the whole point. It's atheism with a floor show. So when I looked at this, it was like, Jesus, literally Jesus in this particular case. You probably should just ignore them. That would be the mature, insane thing to do. And if you're offended by it, you don't need to be in the Capitol on that specific day. It's not necessary. You can think that they stole Eucharist wafers. They are pieces of bread. They're little crackers. Oh my God. Petty larceny. That's a reason to ban somebody from the Capitol Rotunda from operating in any reasonable capacity. That's totally a reason. These people are presumptively taxpayers within the Kansas City region. I don't see the problem with it. And of course, if you don't believe in Satanism, you don't believe there's any power to their black mass. Well, then why do you care? It's no different than how I regard Christian prayer. I am not offended by Christians gathering around in public buildings, private buildings, in public in general, or in their own homes and praying. It doesn't offend me in any way. I just don't believe in the religion specifically. Why would it offend me? It's their business. They can do whatever the hell they want. And I think that if everyone took up this particular line, there'd be no more wars in the world. Everyone would be happier. And that's what I want for the world. So let the Satanists gather at your fucking capital. If you want to find it cringe, that's fine. It kind of is, by the way. If you want to record it and say, "Oh, look at these evildoers! They're trying to defile the Kansas City Capitol with their blood wafers," or something like that, go ahead, and nobody cares. That's about all. Peace out.